Welcome back to Ro Reacts TV, where I will be reacting to and reviewing skits from the Country Wayne skit universe. On this episode, we're going to pick back up to where they broke for mediation with Kelvin, his mom, Britney, and her father. Now they're on break, and Britney walks up to Kelvin and she says, "Hey, Kelvin, or Sean Johnson, what is your name? I don't know." She says, "What is your name?" He said, "That is my name." She said, "Is it? Because that's not what I heard in there." He says, okay. He said, "Well, my mom named me Sean, and because she didn't raise me, I never really liked the name. I went by Kelvin." Kelvin says, "And speaking of names, who is Israel?" She says, "Don't come for me. Beck is," I don't know what she said. Y'all let me know in the comments what that last name was. She wants to keep her last name because that's when she started her firm, and she didn't want to change her last name because she wanted to make it easier for her clients to find her after the divorce. Kelvin says, "So you kept your husband's last name?" Britney says, "Yes, I did, and it's my right to do so." She says, "That is between me and him and has nothing to do with you." He says, "Well, I didn't say it had anything to do with me, but you could have been at least more forthcoming with this information." So they go back and forth arguing about who should have told whom, and actually he says he's disgusted by the whole situation because he's been sleeping with his stepsister. She says, "Please don't remind me." You know what? Let's move on. So Mama Nat pops up at the proceedings. Britney's father, Ken, is like, "What are you doing here?" She's like, "I came here to support you." He is like, please leave. You have to leave now. This is not going to look good on me. Please leave now." She's like, "I feel like a side chick." He said, "And if you stay here, you will be perceived as a side chick. This is not a good time. You need to leave now." So then Kelvin walks in. And she's like, "Don't I know you? Aren't you Britney's boyfriend?" "Yeah, I saw you guys. Y'all were all hugged up kissing." And Kelvin is walking in like he's seen a ghost. He is like, no, I'm not her boyfriend." And so Britney's father, he turns to him. He says, "Are you dating Britney?" And then Kelvin says, "No, we're not dating. We're just friends." And the mom is like, "Well, I know I saw you guys kissing. Are you her boo or whatever they call you these days?" And Kelvin is like, we didn't know each other and this is all new." And he doesn't know what to say. He doesn't want to say too much. Kelvin tells Mama Nat, "I am here to represent my client. I'm going to step out and go talk to my client right now." She says, "Oh, aren't you here? You're here to support Britney?" He says, "No, I'm here to support my client." She said, "Who is your client?" He said, "My mother, Julie." She said, "What? So your mother is Julie and you are dating Britney?" Let's listen in.
Well, we're friends.
That's different. Wow.
Yeah. Look, like I said, none of this was.
Julie's your mama, so that means you sleeping with your stepsister.
Has hit the fan. The cat is out of the bag, partially. So here comes Britney. She's shocked that her mom has showed up to her job. It's what she told her. "I am working right now. What are you doing here?" Her mom is like, "Aren't you dating him? Didn't I see you guys kissing in your hallway at your place?" Britney goes, "No, he is not my boyfriend. He is my co-counsel." So Britney's mom goes, "You know what? Let me leave because clearly what I'm seeing, I must not have seen, or somebody's not saying something." So she leaves, and Kelvin steps out to speak to his mother. Now Britney's father is there, and he is worried. He's like, "How much have you said to this man? What have you told him about my business? Should I change attorneys? I mean, where is our case going to go? I am worried." And she reassures him that everything is going to work out and that everything's going to go fine. Meanwhile, earlier in their conversation, Kelvin and Britney, Kelvin asked, "Are we going to be disbarred?" And she was like, "I'm not going to be disbarred. Don't put that in the air about me. And maybe you are." So this is all tricky. This moment shows how personal lives can completely unravel professional boundaries. Because it's one thing to have tension in the court, but you don't want that spilling over into your legal battles. You put everybody at risk when you do that. And I do see that Britney has been pulled into multiple directions, emotionally by Kelvin, professionally by her father, and personally by Julie and her mom. But there's a deeper theme, y'all. When you don't define your relationships clearly or honestly, someone else will define them for you. Well, that's it for this Country Wayne Skit Universe review on Row Reacts TV. I'll see you on the next episode.